this one. Um, Hello, my name is Danny St. Louis, and I decided to do my presentation on two of the 8 CISSP security domains. I chose asset security and identity and access management. Overview of the both of them. The asset security domain is focused on securing digital and physical assets, and the identity and access management domain is focused on access and authorization to keep data secure by making sure users follow established policies to control and manage assets. Data classification, labeling, and handling establishes the framework for protecting information by assigning value and sensitivity to data. Media sensitization ensures that data cannot be recovered from media after use or disposal. And privacy, retention, and ownership integrates legal, ethical, and operational dimensions into asset security. Data classification, labeling, and handling. Classification assigns data into different levels, like public, internal, confidential, and restricted. Public data is information open to all or planned for public release. Internal data is sensitive data that is used in daily operations, and this requires approval, but it has low impact if it were to be compromised. Confidential data is more sensitive data that could cause competitive disadvantage if lost, and restricted data is the most sensitive data. Loss could result in heavy financial losses, regulatory non-compliance, or even jail time. Labeling makes classification visible and actionable. Handling enforces storage, sharing, transmission, and destruction procedures aligned with classification. Media sanitization. This has 3 methods. First one is clearing method. It removes data so it cannot be reconstructed using standard tools. You can, using this method, you have to overwrite data with patterns of ones and zeros, and it's quick to do, but it may not prevent recovery. Making it suitable only for internal device reuse with low-risk data. A purging method is a more thorough removal, protecting against advanced recovery methods. Methods can include degaussing for magnetic data, cryptographic erasure, securely destroying encryption keys, and using vendor-specific secure erase commands. Destruction method renders all media unusable, like shredding, incarceration, pulverization, and privacy, retention, and ownership. Ownership versus stewardship. Owners define policies for data management, and stewards enforce these policies operationally. Privacy laws give individuals rights over their data, like access, correction, deletion, and restriction. Retention policies ensure data is kept only as long as necessary. Authentication services. This verifies the identity of users trying to access systems or networks. It confirms that users are who they claim to be by checking credentials. There's different methods for this. The 5 most popular ones are something you know, like passwords, something you have, like smart cards, something you are, like biometrics, somewhere you are, like geolocation, and something you do, like it can analyze your keystroke dynamics or mouse movements. User management involves the full cycle of user accounts and their access rights. There are 4 pillars of the user management lifecycle. The first is provisioning, and second is access management and modification, and you have monitoring and auditing and deprovisioning. I think those will be on the next few slides, but I'll go over them just in case. Provisioning is the initial phase, and this establishes the identity and grants baseline access. It involves creating the user account, defining its initial role, and assigning the required entitlements. Access management and modification. This phase ensures that access rights are continuously reviewed and updated in accordance with the principle of least privilege. Monitoring and auditing. This requires continuous visibility into all identity activities and access requests. Deprovisioning is the final stage and is the systematic removal of an identity's access when an employee leaves the organization or machine identity is retired. Authorization services determines what actions users are allowed to perform after authentication. Authentication services. Password authentication, like again, compares user entered with stored credentials. Smart card authentication uses cards, I can't read that, with embedded chips and pins to store credentials. And biometric authentication uses biological traits like fingerprints, facial recognition, and voice recognition. User management. Provisioning, creating accounts and assigning permissions. Deprovisioning, removing access when no longer needed. Self-service. This enables users to reset passwords or manage credentials. And credential management, securely storing and updating authentication information. Delegated administration allows specific users limited administrative powers. Authorization services, there are 4. Centralized authorization manages permissions in a single database. Decentralized authorization means each resource manages its own permissions. And explicit authorization means directly grants access, and implicit authorization grants access through indirect relationships, like group memberships. This is where I got my information from. I think I'll be adding more, but that's all. Any questions? Let me know if you have any.